Alright everybody, welcome to another video. A second video in 2 days for me. This is a bit of a record at this stage, but let's ignore that. Today I'm going to show you guys how to scout some Wonderkids. How to scout Wonderkids, very important. So, I'll show you what I've been doing. This is my Leipzig save. I'm doing U19s only for sign-ins. So I've signed players like Aaron Alcoa, Alvaro Montoro, Konstantinos Karetsas, Kasper Patulski, and you can see that they are growing. You can see they've got good potential, they've got good ratings. They're very good players. Like Ethan Mbappe, I signed him. He was not expected to do anything, and I could sell him on for a bit of profit, I think. Could I check like his transfer history? Guys, UI's a bit much, eh? Like, how am I supposed to see how much I signed this guy for? Registration, no. No, that was career. Club's career stats. There it is. Career stats, guys. My bad. So I signed him up for 1.9. He went on loan to Anderlecht for a bit of money there. I think it was maybe 20k. But he's performed really well enough to get him some growth. If we go back to overview, he's grown pretty nicely in his 5 games that he's gone, and has now developed pretty well. So now we could maybe sell for some profit. And I do like the method of the youth to gold. You can see I've seen players like Josh King, Christos Mouzakitis, who's a big Wonderkid in real life from Greece, and Maher Karitso, who was just at the U20 World Cup, if anybody was keeping up with that. I'm a big fan of these youth players in real life. So what I'm going to show you is how to scout these Wonderkids. So, what I've got set up is a little attribute search. Some people don't like attribute searching. I think it's really good for finding these Wonderkids. I don't have any recruitment focus set up right now, but I could go through the process of trying to make one. What my thoughts are for designing one, so that we're on the same page here. So you can see I've selected everything in this section here, all these attributes. Go over to conditions. I've just got 15 to 18 because I'm doing the U19 save. And then I've got all the attributes matching 18 out of 47. Sometimes if you close down this page and open it back up, you can't change the match attributes, so you have to go back across. Bit of a pain, but it's pretty decent. So this is trying to find these older Wonderkids that are more helpful to the team. I do actually have on not considered / doubtful. So if I do transfer only doubtful, it changes the amount of players that are going to want to join me. If I do transfer only persuadable, apparently nobody changed there. But if I do transfer only interested, it should change the amount of players. Well, this was this was not showing in the best of light what's going to happen. But here I'm just looking at Honest Anahor, or Ahanor. I can see him, and I think he would fit my team very well. You know, he's big player in real life, big up and coming Wonderkid. And from doing that, I can check if he does want to join. Interesting. So I've got his price down to 7 million there. So you always ask the agent just to see for sure. And I'll suggest those terms. Oh, so there we are. I got that release clause out of there. That's perfect. So now we have Honest Ahanor, who I can now ask if he wants to join. So that is in this 18-year-old range, where they are more developed than the 16-year-olds, hopefully. But if we were to look for younger players, what you'd want to do is you'd want to bring the attributes down to, I think, 10, and then you want to take the age down to, let's say, 17 for a bit of a wider spread, so you can find 17-year-olds as well in this search. But then what you can also do is drop it down to 16, so you could find these newly spawned in regens, which I have here, which I've not actually taken a look at yet, like Raphael Harry. Seems to be decent. He looks like he's free. and wanted by Club Brugge, so that's a bit of an indicator to me that this guy could be alright. Have we got anyone else? Leandro Simons, another Belgian. He looks alright in the mental attributes. And we have a German guy here who we'll take a look at as well. He's got great finishing. So that is how you find some of these guys. If I was to go doubtful on this transfer only page, you can see more 16-year-olds will appear. So this is how you really scout. Well, this is how I'm scouting for these sort of players. If I was to go for not considered as well, it would bring in a lot more players so that I could scout even further. One of my favourite players that I'm looking at right now is Kenneth Eichhorn. So he's sitting at Hertha Berlin U19s. He looks phenomenal for the age that he is. He's sitting in my shortlist, waiting until he does want to join. So hopefully that's soon. So, whilst we're on this page here, I'll change the recommendation thing. So something I've just found out is that when you're trying to select the players, what I was doing was going down individually, clicking, and if I was to miss a click, it would reset. Maybe you guys are having the same issue, maybe not. But what I've found is if you click the first guy you want to start at, so I don't want to include these guys at the top because I've already scouted them. But if I hold shift with this guy in there and I scroll down and then click again whilst I'm still holding shift, I've now highlighted all of these guys, let go of shift, and I scout them. So now I start at Arno Casas, so I can start there. Left shift, and then I'll scroll down to Billy Mills, right click, scout player for a week. So I think it does stop at 50. If you're wanting to scout up to 50 players, you're going to have to do it a bit individually. But there, I've got 25 players scouting right there. And hopefully some of them are decent. So that's how I'm doing my scouting at the moment. So that was for my Wonderkids. For recruitment focuses, I don't have anything set up, but if I was to set a recruitment focus up, of course it would be any position because we've got a whole lot of positions this year. I would probably set the minimum current ability there and a potential ability there at 3 stars, and then I'd drop it to, depends what kind of range you're looking for. If I'm looking for regens, I'll set it to 16 ongoing priority, and you could scout continent wise or you can scout region wise. In the last Football Managers, I was scouting region wise. I think it's a bit more efficient to find these players, but it's a lot of recruitment focuses. So you need a lot of scouts. So you really just choose your nations that you want to choose. I might set one up here, ongoing, region. Where do I want to find players? I want to look. Where are we? We're in kind of Central Europe. So I'll go Central Europe. And then you can double up. I think doubling up's a good idea right now if you've not got a lot of scouts. So what's kind of near Central Europe? We'll say Southern. What's that? Albania and all that kind of region. And then what we could even do is get a bit cheeky. Well, we'll actually take Central Europe out and we'll go South Europe, Eastern Europe, and then Southeastern Europe as well. So we'll just, if you want to choose a scout and an analyst, you can. I'm just going to put any on it. There's my criteria that I've set out. And there's the players that have come back, which is a bit weird because, if I'm being honest, I set that to 15 to 16-year-olds, and every single player that's come back is above that age. So if we could take a little look at that again. Oh no, it says between 50. I definitely said 16. Minimum ability there. Confirm. That didn't change. Confirm. So it looks a bit weird. If I was to press redo, I don't know. That's why I've not done recruitment focuses. I don't think they're working too well. This is where you can check where your scouting priorities lie. So let's say I wanted Christopher Ruiz to be scouted, I'll just press prioritize. Scouting assignment. If I wanted him to be done faster, he now moves to the top and will be done in 7 days, which is pretty good. So that is how I've been finding my players. I've not been making too much use of the squad planner, let's say. Transfer activity. Is there transfer history? There is, so I can show you kind of transfer history that I've been doing. It does say the fees in the side. I have been spending a lot of money, but that's mostly because of the clauses that I've been at the club. Like I made 35 million off Sesko, sold the clause. I made 25 million off of Dani Olmo, sold the clause. You know, it's I think it's a bit ridiculous, the clauses. I've seen Visualizer and Manny playing and Visualizer claimed 90 million from the Isaac deal. So again, I think it's a bit much with the clauses, but you know, what can you do? It's making me money at the end of the day. So I'll just show you a little bit of how I'm scouting for my positions, you know. So I was scouting for a lot of wingers or attacking midfielders. That's why I have so many. Like Alibegovic, Okawa, Maximovic, who was already at the club, Josh King, Karetzas Montoro, Muzakitas, he can play there, but I am trying to train him to be a DM. And then I was like, I do kind of need centre backs. So I've brought in Potolski and Salinas, who can play either side of this wide centre back formation that I'm trying to work into the team. Brought in a striker, and then I just need a goalie. Goalies are really hard to find, I think. In maybe not in general, but in this kind of youth area. Let me just change these attributes so that I can find some players that are ready. So if I was to look for a goalie, we have Nils Ramming and Nick Homan. Don't know what just happened there. Nils Ramming does look good, I can't lie. If he was to want to join me, I would take him. He does want to join me. So you can see even there, the attribute scouting works really well. I will show you another method that I'm used to doing on other FMs. Probably my favourite. It does take a lot of time. And it's going through the nations. I've not yet tried it on this Football Manager. Oh wow, this looks a lot harder than it used to be. I can't even lie to you. I've not even looked at it once yet. So if we go to competitions, we'll start in Europe. Men's competitions. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Continents. Europe. Continents is where I want to be, isn't it? National team rankings. This is usually where I would like to be. France. Oh, it's hard. It's difficult. France. No. Oh. I don't want to see the women's national team. I want to see the men's national team. There it is. Men's national team. Oh, it's hard to scout. It is hard to scout these. This probably wouldn't be the method that I would use at this point. It does seem a bit difficult to fully work your way around, just in my thoughts. Like, you have to go through all this effort. General info. I don't like this either. Can I say, this player database thing, you cannot save your filter. So if you're trying to do attribute searching, you can't really take it away, or you're going to have to add all these attributes back in. Because I've not found a way to save your filter yet, which is a really kind of disappointing kind of thing. That if I was to stop scouting, I'd have to redo it all. But it's alright. It's a good game. It's a good game. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed just giving you guys my thoughts on this new game already with my tactics and of course this scouting video. So please just let me know down in the comments or by liking the video if you have enjoyed, I've enjoyed, as I've already said, making it. But yeah, thanks guys. See you in the next one.